My girlfriend liked to test my love for her. She'd fake being sick to send me out to buy medicine on rainy nights. She'd leave hickeys on her neck on purpose to make me jealous. And for the sake of appearances with her friends, she'd have me wait 3 hours in the rain. I decided on my own to break up with her. But she thought I was just being moody. On my birthday, she called me. "All right, don't be mad anymore. Come to Starlight Club tonight. I've got a surprise for you." I said I was busy. She didn't believe me, laughed. What could be so important? "I'm getting married today." This was the 3rd hour I stood outside Karina's place with a cake. My messages went unanswered again. As I was about to leave, I heard cheers from upstairs. Karina and her friends peeked out from the balcony, whistling. "Brother-in-law." Karina said you'd wait for her in the rain for 3 hours. Didn't think it was true. "Your love is so enviable. Karina is really lucky." They laughed and teased around Karina. I stared at them. Everything around me slowly lost color, turned black and white, except Karina. She had a smile on her face, looking at me like a puppy that had earned her some praise. I suddenly felt a sharp pain in my chest, like a cold wind was tearing it open. Karina waved at me. "Oliver, come over here." I looked at her for a few seconds, then turned and walked into the rain. I'd been with Karina for 5 years, from having nothing until she started her own business. Karina went from a poor student to a small business owner. I was the constant witness. When she closed her first deal, she held me and cried like a kid. "Oliver, I promise I'll be good to you. I'll always love you." At that time, I believed her wholeheartedly. I don't know when she changed. I just know she didn't leave me many good memories anymore. Once she faked being sick in the middle of a snowy winter night to test my love. Without a second thought, I went out to buy medicine. The road was icy. I slipped and fell 4 times. When I got back, Karina hugged me at the door. "Baby, you're so good." She said she wasn't really sick, just testing my love. I don't know what I felt at that moment, but my legs hurt so much it made my eyes sting. Another time, Karina deliberately left someone else's hickey on her neck. That led to our biggest fight ever. But then she posted on social media, "My baby truly loves me, or he wouldn't be so jealous." She's done so many crazy things over the years. I've lost count. Passing by a trash can, I threw the cake in. Over the years, Karina finally wore out my love for her. Walking in the rain, I remembered a rainy night years ago. We were in our sophomore year. I was coming back from tutoring when it started to rain. Getting off the bus, I saw her standing under a streetlight. She ran over with a smile, handed me a hot sweet potato from her arms. "It's still warm. Eat it." Such blatant and passionate affection. I felt it for the first time. But only 5 years later, the person was still the same, though everything had changed. I'd been disappointed for a while, clinging to the happiness she once brought, holding on to hope. What if she reverted back? Turns out, it was just my wishful thinking. When she used my love as her bragging rights, our love had already changed. Today is her birthday. I planned to talk about us, about the future. Karina didn't give me that chance. She took 3 hours, showed me reality. There's no future for us. Thinking that those 3 hours were worth it. Before I left their sight, I overheard them. "Brother-in-law seems angry. Karina, should you go coax him?" Karina's casual voice raised slightly. "No need. He likes it this way. I'm used to it after all these years. He'll come back soon enough." So confident. With her successful career now, I'm too dumb to leave her golden opportunity. But I won't go back. "Karina, I don't want you anymore." That night, Karina didn't call once. The next morning, I watched her head to work. Before returning to our shared home, I left her a letter. No need to pack bags. Just grabbed my ID and passport. I couldn't help but glance back. This was the place we rented after graduating. We did it all ourselves, choosing furniture, hanging up lights. When we could, we bought it. It's a small place, but we never changed it. Every part holds our memories. Now those memories feel like a joke. The day I left on the plane, I changed my SIM card, left everything about Karina in that city. Years later, I returned to City A. The taxi got stopped at the gate. This is private property. No entry without permission. I rolled down the window. It's me, David. The old guard squinted and stared. Young master, you've finally come back. There weren't many people in the massive estate, so kneeling in the courtyard an hour. No one came to sneak me a mat. Dad, I really know I was wrong. My father, hair now gray, lay with eyes closed in a rocking chair. After a long silence, he spoke. I still remember your determination. When you left for that poor girl, your mother tried to talk you out of it, but you wouldn't listen. I tried everything, including disowning you. Dad, I regret it. I'll do whatever you say from now on. The rocking chair stopped moving. He slowly opened his eyes and looked at me. In that case, proceed with the wedding to Fiona. I was stunned. Fiona? My girlfriend likes to test my love for her. She pretends to be sick so I'd run out in the rain at night to get her medicine. She leaves love bites on her neck just to make me jealous. And when she wants to show off in front of her friends, she keeps me waiting in the rain for 3 hours. I finally decided to break up with her, but she thought I was just being moody. On my birthday, she called me. All right, stop sulking. Come to the Starlight Club tonight. I've got a surprise for you. I told her I wasn't free today. She laughed it off. What could you possibly be busy with? I'm getting married today. That was the 3rd hour I stood waiting with a cake outside Karina's place. My messages went unanswered. Just as I was about to leave, cheers sounded from above. Karina and her friends popped out onto the balcony, whistling. Karina said you'd really wait 3 hours in the rain for her. And it turned out to be true. You guys have such an enviable relationship. Karina is so lucky. They cheered, teasing her. I stood stunned, watching them. All the colors around me faded to grayscale, leaving just Karina. She smiled at me, as if I were a pet basking in her glory. Suddenly, my chest felt like it had been torn open. Cold wind rushed in, both chilling and painful. Karina waved me over. Oliver, come here. I looked at her for a few seconds, then turned and walked into the rain. After 5 years with Karina, from having nothing to her starting her own company, I'd seen it all. She transformed from a broke student into a small business owner. I witnessed it all. When she closed her first deal, she cried in my arms like a child. Oliver, I'll always be good to you. I'll love you forever. Back then, I believed her wholeheartedly. I don't know when she changed, but over time, all I remembered were no longer happy memories. Once, to test my love, she pretended to be sick so I'd go out at midnight to get medicine. It was the dead of winter, snowing heavily. I didn't hesitate once I knew she was sick. The roads were icy and I fell 4 times. When I got back, Karina hugged me at the door. She said, "Baby, you're so good." She wasn't sick at all. She just wanted to test my love. I didn't know how I felt back then. All I remember was my bruised leg and the sting in my eyes. Another time, she purposely left love bites from another on her neck to make me jealous. We had the biggest fight ever. But then she posted online, "My baby must really love me to be this jealous." Over the years, she did so many wild things that I lost count. Passing a trash can, I threw the cake into it. After all these years, Karina finally drained all the love I had for her. Walking through the rain, I thought back to a rainy night years ago. We were just sophomores then. I was coming back from my tutoring job when it started raining. Getting off the bus, I saw a girl waiting under a dim streetlight. She held an umbrella and beamed when she saw me. Running over, she handed me a warm sweet potato she'd kept wrapped up, still hot. "Eat it." It was a blatant and passionate display of affection. The first time I truly felt it. But in just 5 years, the person remains, but everything's different. Honestly, I've been disappointed for a while. I lingered because of the good times she'd given me, hoping maybe, just maybe, she'd change back. But I was fooling myself. The moment she made my love her bragging point, our love was tainted. Today was her birthday. I wanted to talk about us, our future, but Karina didn't give me the chance. She took 3 hours to show me the truth. There's no future for us. Come to think of it, 3 hours was a good deal. Before I walked out of sight, I heard their chatter. Seems like he's mad, Karina. You gonna coax him? Karina's carefree voice replied, no need, he likes it this way. I've gotten used to it all these years. He'll come back soon enough. She was so confident. With her successful career, she figured I was too dull to leave her. But I'm not coming back. Karina, I'm done with you. Not a single call from Karina that night. The next morning, I watched her leave for work before returning to our shared apartment. I left her a letter. No need to pack anything, just my ID and passport. Before leaving, I couldn't resist one last glance. This was where Karina and I lived after graduation, back when it was just bare walls. We decorated it together, picked out furniture, hung lights. Once we had enough money, we bought the place. It's small, but we never moved on. Every corner held memories. Now those memories feel like a joke. The day I flew out, I switched SIM cards. I left everything related to Karina in that city. Years later, I'm back in City A. The taxi was stopped outside the estate. Private property, no entry without permission. I lowered the window. David, it's me. The elderly guard squinted, recognizing me. Young master, you're finally back. With few people around, I kneeled in the yard for an hour without anyone offering a cushion. Dad, I really know I was wrong. My father, hair turned gray, lay in a rocker, silent. Finally, he said, I still remember how determined you were to leave for that poor girl. Your mom tried persuading you, but you wouldn't listen. I scolded you, punished you. And what did it come to? You wanted to cut ties with me. Dad, I'm sorry. Whatever you want from me, I'll do. The chair stopped moving. He slowly opened his eyes, looking at me. All right then. First, you'll marry Fiona. I froze. Fiona? This unfamiliar name pulled out memories I almost forgot. Our families are longtime friends. I got engaged to Fiona when I was 18. Back then, I left the city for Karina without hesitation. Before I left, I went to apologize to Fiona, asking her to dissolve the engagement. What did she say back then? She said, since we were kids, when have I not agreed to what you wanted? So, I naturally assumed our engagement was off. I looked up, a bit confused. Is Fiona still not married? She must be 25 by now. You're not around, who would she marry? My mom shot me a look while bringing out a fruit platter. Get up already, you're in the way. I staggered to my feet, hearing her say, since you're back, first thing, apologize to Fiona and sort things out with her. When I went over, Fiona wasn't home. Heard she's abroad for work. Her family was happy to see me. It wasn't the cold-shouldered scene I had imagined. No sarcasm or anything. We heard you were abroad taking a break. Now that you're back, staying for good? I blinked and nodded, yes. Fiona's mom held my hand. When Fiona insisted on breaking the engagement without a word, that was our fault. Her dad already talked to her. We understood your need to leave. Now, about you and Fiona, I was too ashamed. I'll leave it to both families to decide. After leaving, I called Fiona. She answered in seconds, her voice as calm as ever. Hey Fiona, it's me. I felt guilty. I didn't expect our engagement to still be on. I hesitated, you probably don't want to be involved with someone like me. I'll see if there's a peaceful way. She interrupted me. What's there to mind? She said. You didn't do anything drastic. It was just an imperfect relationship. That's not a stain. When's the wedding? She asked, switching topics too fast for me. Not set yet, but both parents are pressing. All right, I'll come back soon. The call ended, and I was a bit dazed. Kids from families like ours should have known. Our marriages aren't really in our hands. Knowing is one thing, accepting is another. I think I should learn this from Fiona. Fiona returned home in half a month. She brought gifts on her first day back. She's become more mature, more composed. Speaks to my dad with warmth and charm. Keeps my mom happy without breaking a sweat. No wonder they all like her. I watched her, quickly taking a sip of tea when she looked my way. Our wedding was set for early May 5th, which also happens to be my birthday. That morning, I got a call from an unknown number. Hello? No way, it's actually you. The voice was just like Henry, Karina's friend. Oliver, finally found you. Where've you been? Karina's been worried sick. I didn't know how he got my number but frowned slightly. Don't contact me again. We broke up. There was noise on the line, and someone else took over. You left a letter ending things one-sidedly. I didn't agree, so it doesn't count. It was Karina. Oliver, what are you mad about? Just because I left you waiting in the rain for 3 hours? Is that really worth running away from home? I listened silently, too tired to argue back. Once again, I felt leaving was the right choice. Okay, I apologize, Karina's voice softened. Babe, don't be mad. I just had doubts about your love for me, that's why I tested you. Cheer up. Okay? It's your birthday. I planned a surprise. Will you come? There were cheers in the background. Oliver, Karina's gonna propose. So romantic. Get lost. Karina laughed and scolded, you just spoiled the surprise. The noise was giving me a headache. I rubbed my temples instinctively. The makeup artist jumped, alarmed. Sorry, Oliver. Did I hurt you? No, keep going. Okay, Oliver. I'll make you the most handsome groom today. The phone went silent. As I was about to hang up, Karina suddenly laughed. Oliver, are you playing a trick on me? Are you trying to make me jealous? Her tone was forced casual, but I felt a relief wash over me, realizing I won't be tangled with her again. Not kidding. We got the papers last month, weddings today. I chuckled, you're not invited. My wife probably wouldn't be pleased. Oliver. Karina's voice rose sharply. Are you done joking? I cut the call, pulled out the SIM card, and tossed it in the trash. The makeup artist was startled, froze for a moment. I smiled at her through the mirror. Sorry about that. Please continue. Our wedding was in a church. It didn't look like a typical event. It was heartfelt. I couldn't help but ask my assistant, who designed this? It looks nice. Oliver, the assistant, whispered. Fiona did it herself. I was stunned. Didn't expect Fiona to care about this business arrangement. There were people guiding me through each step. In a daze, I made my way to the altar. Fiona was standing with her back to me in her wedding dress. At the priest's signal, she turned to look over. Cheers from everyone filled the air. I met Fiona's gaze from afar. Was I seeing things? Her smile seemed pretty genuine. Maybe I should take a cue from her and nail the art of appearances. I adjusted my face and followed my mom towards Fiona, until I placed my hand into Fiona's warm palm. The ceremony went off without a hitch. After all the formalities ended, our parents whisked us away to meet a bunch of uncles and aunts. After making rounds, my legs felt like they'd been put through a marathon. It wasn't until 11 at night that we finally made it to the new place. It was a cozy little villa, nice and quiet surroundings. I headed straight to shower. By the time I finished and stepped out, it was already midnight. Fiona was sitting on the couch in pajamas, her hair still a bit damp, with strands falling over her forehead. It was a contrast to her usual meticulous appearance. Made her seem more approachable. I noticed she was still looking at her tablet. Still working this late? I blurted out. Fiona lifted her gaze from the tablet. Not working. Waiting for you. Honestly, I wasn't super familiar with Fiona. We rarely chatted. As I pondered why she was waiting, she set her tablet aside and stood up. It's late, she said. I nodded. It is. So what now, Fiona? Time for bed. As if on impulse, I reached out to touch her cheek. Let's go to the bedroom. We were married now, legally as can be. We hadn't signed any pre-nuptial agreements and I wasn't planning on abstaining for life. Having a woman here willing to indulge me was hard to resist. I convinced myself in seconds. It was just mutual consent between adults. We stumbled into the bedroom, and our robes were discarded who knows where. I thought Fiona would be all cool and distant, but she surprised me by being unreserved. No pretending, just raw honesty and desire. The chandelier above wasn't even on, but I kept seeing it sway in my mind. Just when I drifted to the clouds, I bit Fiona on the shoulder impulsively. She chuckled softly. Oliver, you still like to bite, huh? I barely caught her words. I was too far gone. In the morning, Fiona got dressed and came over to tap my head through the covers. I know you're awake. No rush. I'm off to work. Remember to eat later. She rattled off the list in a slightly husky voice. I finally pulled myself out of bed when I heard the door close, staring at the ceiling light. None of this was what I expected. But after that night, my relationship with Fiona took a surprising turn. She'd be home to have dinner with me, listening to my stories about the wealthy folks. Sometimes she'd respond with a laugh. And I started accompanying her to events, playing the dutiful husband. Fiona was also the ideal partner in bed. No fooling around outside, health conscious, routinely checked her health. Felt safe and reliable. I was increasingly pleased with this alliance. My parents noticed the change too. Oliver, you've been looking good since the wedding, Mom smiled. Means Fiona takes good care of you. They say love is like tending to a flower. You can see instantly if it's thriving. Then she sighed, but before, when you suddenly came back looking so drained, my heart ached. My smile faltered for a second. Geez, I was feeling just fine. Dad shifted topics fast. Time to focus post-wedding. Let's have you intern at the company next month. Get a feel for the business. He made the decision right there for my next move. At home later, Fiona was heading to the study. She was diligent, often working late there. Already had dinner? She asked. Yeah, I replied politely. You? Not yet. I paused. So late. I texted saying I wouldn't be back for dinner. Fiona nodded. I saw it, I admitted. Just didn't have much appetite without you around. Her words sent my brain into a thoughtful pause. I watched her for a bit as she headed to the study, then suddenly stopped. Something else on your mind? I looked away, absent-mindedly picking at my nails. Not really, but Dad wants me to help at the company. I might buy a nearby apartment. This is too far for commuting. Do it, Fiona replied. Let me know when you pick a spot and I'll have someone set it up. We'll need a duplicate of all our stuff there. We? I lifted my head sharply. You're moving in too? She looked at me, her tone even. We've only been married a month. You're eager for a split already? Oddly enough, I sensed a hint of a pout in her tone. Not what I meant. You're welcome to join. Great. Settled. Fiona smiled. Night, hubby. I was left a bit dazed even after she shut the door. Fiona, did she take some kind of happy pill? Before starting at the company, Fiona and I moved into a nearby apartment. I didn't get a big place, just enough for us. She wasn't around all the time, so anything more felt excessive. Dad didn't reveal my status at work. Had me as his assistant, shadowing him daily, loaded with tasks. He was seriously grooming me. Days blurred by, and in a blink, half a year passed. That early winter, someone unexpected showed up at the company. Henry. I was passing by the general manager's office with files when he rushed out. Hey man. Henry looked puzzled seeing me. What are you doing here? Didn't expect to bump into him. I offered a polite grin. I work here. And I'm not your buddy. He looked a mite embarrassed. My bad, just slipped. He was an exec from another company, probably here for a deal. I didn't linger, just headed to the elevator for the top floor. Henry stood there for a bit, processing, then turned around and went inside. He asked the manager, "What position does that gentleman hold at your company?" Chairman's assistant. The general manager was puzzled. What's up? No, nothing. Henry thought for a moment and then asked, Do you know what his girlfriend does for a living? The manager was stunned for a second and turned to look at his secretary. The secretary replied, I don't think Oliver's married, right? Never heard him mention a girlfriend. The first thing Henry did after leaving the company was call Karina. Karina, guess who I ran into today? 4 days after meeting Henry, in the evening, I got blocked by Karina on my way home from work. She was dressed in a fancy gown, leaning against a luxury car, drawing the gaze of passers-by. Oliver, she called out to me, you're not doing so well without me. Huh? I ignored her and walked past her. She frowned and reached out to grab my wrist, whispering, We've been at this long enough. Shouldn't you stop being mad by now? Wouldn't it be easy to just come back to me and do nothing? Couldn't hold back and snapped. Are you out of your mind? I told you already. I'm married. Married? Who would believe that? Karina looked nonchalant. Oliver, who would you marry if not me? Just a few words with her and I was exhausted. Before I could reply, a hand reached over, pulled mine away from Karina, with an undeniable authority. I didn't know when Fiona had arrived, or what she had seen. By the time I realized, she was already in my arms, looking at Karina with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. He married me. You got a problem with that? Karina's expression finally changed. She looked at me, then at Fiona, finally aware. She no longer had a special place in the heart of the boy who used to be all about her. She asked Fiona, "Who are you? Introduce yourself." I held Fiona's hand back. "My wife, Fiona." Fiona turned to me with a smile in her eyes. Maybe the sight of Fiona and me together made Karina uneasy, because she started getting agitated. "Oliver, are you really married? Do you need to see the marriage certificate?" She yelled. "How could you do this to me? I worked so hard, built my career for you, endured endless social gatherings for the sake of marrying you, but you dumped me over a trivial issue and married someone else? Oliver, do you even have a heart? Don't make it sound so justified." Fiona's voice turned cold. She glanced at the car on the side of the road. "Did you buy that car for Oliver? Those designer clothes too? You're driven by vanity but dare to stand on a moral high ground. Where's your pride?" And also, Fiona didn't give her a chance to retort. "The insignificant issues you're referring to might not be so trivial to Oliver." I never expected Fiona to stand up for me like this. I couldn't hold back and looked at her with admiration. Feeling Karina's gaze, I impulsively linked arms with Fiona. "Wife, you said it perfectly." Fiona seemed stunned, a hint of redness at the tip of her ears. Karina was furious, taking a step forward and swung at Fiona. Finally, Henry, who'd been watching from the shadows, couldn't stand by anymore. He rushed out and pulled Karina aside. Fiona didn't spare them another glance, pulling me away with her. On the way back, neither of us spoke, not until we reached the entrance of the apartment. Feeling a little awkward, I said, "Let go for a sec so I can use my fingerprint to unlock the door." We had dinner as usual. Then she went to the study to work, and I went to work out. But tonight her routine changed. In a robe, she blocked me as I stepped out of the bathroom. Barely catching my breath, I instinctively explained, "Karina and I aren't involved anymore. She just can't move on." Fiona's voice was soft. "I know. Then why are you? Just wanted to kiss you. Liar." One kiss led to another and we ended up in bed. When I regained my senses, I suddenly realized, oh no, I've developed feelings for her. Otherwise, why would my first instinct be to explain myself? Afraid she'd be upset? This business marriage isn't as straightforward anymore. I didn't expect to run into Karina again so soon. It was a business banquet, and Fiona brought me along. She was chatting confidently with the company bosses. Not an easy task. I hadn't been standing long before my back started to hurt. A long-standing issue from running around with Karina. Fiona leaned over to my ear and said, "Go sit down and rest for a bit." I nodded, slipping away unnoticed. But before I reached the resting area, I stopped, because I saw Karina. She was on a sofa, holding a glass of red wine, talking with some young people. Karina was attractive, and her elegant speech was captivating. A bold young man asked, "Karina, do you have a boyfriend?" "No." She smiled, taking a sip of wine, and then locked eyes with me from a distance. The guy continued, "Someone as beautiful as you shouldn't be single." Karina forced a smile. "Just broke up." People teased. "Seems like Karina's had a heartbreak." Huh? In their small talk, Karina mentioned her ex-boyfriend. He treated me like I was his whole world, brought me breakfast every morning, went out in the snow at midnight for my cold medicine, picked me up when I was drunk at a bar. He even waited 3 hours in the rain for me. The group exchanged glances and replied in awe. asking how she lost such a good guy. Karina smiled again and looked at me. Yeah, how did I lose him? One guy asked. Didn't it hurt to lose him? Karina hesitated, turning to look at him. The boy seemed like he came from a wealthy family, speaking logically and sharply. You say he did all this, but it sounds like you didn't care much for him. Around them, people fell silent, leaving Karina looking awkward. The young man chuckled. Sorry, I speak bluntly. Don't take it to heart. Just listen to Karina talking. She always has this subtle smugness. Left me a bit surprised. If my girlfriend waited for me 3 hours in the rain, I'd be heartbroken for sure. So, it's no wonder you lost that guy. He checked out his watch, got up and left. This party is really lame. Anyone can just show up. That comment was like a slap to Karina's face. Karina's face darkened. That's when I walked over and sat down. Oliver. Someone recognized me. Where's your wife? I replied with a smile. She's chatting with friends. What are you all talking about? Looks like the vibe is good. That person paused, probably wondering where I got the idea the vibe was good. They also felt awkward now, eager to switch the topic. So they turned the conversation to me. Oliver and Fiona have a great relationship. Yeah, I met Fiona at a party a few days ago. Couldn't stop talking about her husband. Really enviable. Oliver wasn't around here a few years back. Heard you went to clear your head. I nodded. Yeah, hit a wall, got hurt, came back. Ha ha ha, you're so funny. We just chit-chatted. Karina remained silent. After a while, Fiona came over. She seemed to ignore Karina, walked straight to me. Rested enough? Let's go home. She extended her hand to me. I naturally held it back. Even as we were leaving, we were still the center of that group's attention. Someone who's in the know quietly remarked. Heard that those years Oliver wasn't in the city, he didn't go abroad, and he had a girlfriend. Fell out with his parents. A guy sighed. Left so determinedly, now back again. Must have been really heartbroken. A girl who just returned from studying abroad pointed at the couple leaving. Puzzled. Who are they anyway? The earlier speaker filled her in. Oliver is the only son of the group. Fiona is currently the head of Future Tech. They just got married last year. Though it's a business marriage, they seem to get along really well. Karina was stunned. You said Oliver is who? Fiona pulled me to the garage. The driver already had the car ready. When I got in, a young guy's face turned from the passenger seat. Hey, brother-in-law. It's the guy who just shamed Karina. It's you. I blinked, confused, looking at him. You are? Mike. Fiona introduced him. My cousin. Just got back yesterday. I quickly greeted him. Nice to meet you. Mike looked at me, grinning. Finally meeting the guy my sister's been talking about for years. Brother-in-law, you're quite handsome. I didn't even get a chance to ask him what that last bit meant. The driver abruptly braked. I instinctively shielded Fiona's head. The driver lowered the window. What's wrong with you? Want to get yourself killed? Karina was blocking the car. Saw me in the back seat. She walked briskly over. Oliver, get down here. I have something to ask you. I lowered the window, looking at her. Ask away. Karina gasped for air. They said, you're the only heir of the group. I am. She slammed a fist on the car. Then why didn't you tell me? Would it have made a difference? I asked her. If you knew I was the sole heir, would you stop testing my love for you? Would you have felt safe then? I smirked sarcastically. Probably not. So, Karina, what are you regretting about? The window slowly rolled up. I glanced at Karina one last time. If you date again, don't play games. If there's no trust, don't drag someone else down. Let's go. The car gradually drove off. I watched Karina's slumped figure in the rearview get smaller, then disappear. We dropped Mike at home first. As he got out, he exchanged contacts with me. The moment he stepped out, the atmosphere inside the car subtly changed. Fiona placed her palm over the back of my hand. Tired? Not really. If you're tired, take a nap. I didn't feel like talking, so I leaned against the window with my eyes closed. After a while, a warm hand reached over, gently guided my head to rest on her shoulder. I heard a soft sigh. Fiona. I slowly opened my eyes. Do you like me? For a moment, it felt like the air was frozen. I sensed Fiona's body stiffen, but she quickly relaxed. Her voice was lovely, and her response was definite. Yes. Why? I always thought we were just a business marriage, a facade couple. Oliver, we've known each other for almost 17 years. I thought about it. That's true. We went to the same fancy elementary school. Our families lived nearby for a while. That's how we met. But we never really talked much. Then we went to different middle schools. Fiona was always the golden child in my parents' eyes. Though my parents never put me down, I often heard them praise Fiona, saying she was polite, modest, intelligent with her own mind. The marriage proposal was Fiona's parents' idea. I never knew why, but my parents adored her too much. And at the time, I didn't have any objections. I just thought, she's good, marriage would work. As for Fiona liking me, I never considered that as a possibility. Fiona said, "Do you remember where we first met? Something from over a decade ago, who remembers?" I stayed silent. She chuckled. "I remember. 17 years ago. On my way to school, I almost got kidnapped. You saved me." I dredged up that memory from deep in my mind. Oh, so it was you. Back then I was just 10. The school wasn't too far from my house. But my folks were worried. They had bodyguards pick me up every day. Rich kids are easy targets for criminals. One day after school, I saw a kid getting pulled into a van from afar. Without thinking, I told our bodyguards to follow. We trailed them for miles, caught them in a deserted alley. The bodyguards told me repeatedly to stay in the car. But I didn't listen. I ran out without a second thought. The bodyguards were fighting off the thugs. And using my small build, I squeezed into the van's trunk. Inside I found a girl tied up, bruised and scared. I untied her and tried to pull her out. She was skinny and not as tall as me. Just as I was getting her out, the driver jumped back, saw us in the back seat. He turned to grab us. I freaked out, yanked the girl hard, and then bit down on his wrist. Right then, her bodyguards showed up with the cops. The guys ran off seeing them. The girl and I sat by the road. She was too terrified to speak, and I just stared at the tooth in my hand. Didn't speak either. When I bit the guy, I got slapped, and my already loose tooth came right out. The girl suddenly started to softly cry. I turned to her, awkwardly tried to comfort. "Don't cry, it's okay, the bad guys are gone now." I tried mimicking how grown-ups comfort me. "Don't cry, I'll give you a gift." The girl looked at me with tears in her eyes. What gift? I didn't think she'd actually want one. Panicking, I pulled out my tooth and handed it to her. Fiona laughed beside me. "I still have that tooth, you know." I covered my forehead, face red as a tomato. Couldn't help but blurt out, "You're amazing." "Just joking." Fiona chuckled even more. When I got home, I put it in a little box on my roof. They say doing that helps new teeth grow faster. I found out your name and class. Since then, I've been paying attention to you. You're not like the other rich kids I knew. You make friends with regular folks, and could spend an afternoon playing with a stray dog on the street. Our marriage is something I fought for. Fiona paused, her voice softening. "So when you came to me asking to cancel the engagement, for a moment I didn't want to agree. I pressed my lips together. But you did." "Yes, I did. And I even tried," she said. "Our parents didn't agree. But the truth is, if I had tried hard enough, our engagement wouldn't mean anything anymore. Out of selfishness, she didn't try enough. She used the engagement to keep our fragile connection." Her words made my heart skip. I couldn't figure out what I felt. Just this bittersweet, tangy feeling. Fiona looked at me, smiled. "What's up? Feeling bad?" "Oh, so that's it." I nodded. "Kinda feel bad." Fiona stared at me in surprise. Didn't say anything for a bit. I reached out and took her arm. I wasn't lying when I said, "I don't have feelings for Karina anymore. From now on, I have nothing to do with her. I married you, and making it work with you is the most important now." While Fiona showered, Mike texted me, "Hey, brother-in-law. She's quite a lively one. If my sister ever gives you a hard time, come to me. I'll help you sort her out." I chuckled and replied, "Okay." Seconds later, he texted again. "But it's unlikely. My sister's got a warm heart beneath that cold exterior. She likes you too much to mistreat you." He kept chatting away. "A year ago, when you suddenly called my sister, she was at my graduation ceremony. The moment she heard you wanted to marry her, she ditched me overseas and flew right back." Click. The bathroom door opened. Fiona stepped out, glanced at me. "Why aren't you asleep yet?" I put my phone down, looked at her intently. "Waiting for you." She was taken aback. I stood up, gently hugged her. "Sorry for making you wait so long." Fiona lifted her eyes to mine, a swirl of emotions in them, and then she kissed me. The room went dark, except for my phone's light flickering. "Brother-in-law, are you there? Brother-in-law, why aren't you answering?" I'm telling the truth. I'm not just a cheerleader for my sister. I didn't take her big red envelope. Why isn't my sister replying either? What are you two even doing?